Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1460, written by Boobly Skunk Nugget, the songbird that saved my soul. When I was in my late teens, my father ended his life. One of the things I best remember him for was his enormous love for birds, especially those small songbirds. He had loved them since he was a child. His favorite sound was birds singing, and even one of his favorite songs was about a small bird, specifically about a young girl asking the bird to send a forget-me-not flower to her father up in heaven. I have always struggled with mental health issues, and although he struggled a lot himself, on my bad days, he would always sit by my side, just sitting silently next to me to support me the best way he was able to, until I managed to calm back down. After my father's death, my mental health plummeted, to the point where I no longer had any will to live. I was sent to a mental institution to be watched over. The thing about these rooms is that the only window that is openable is a teensy tiny window, and when opened, it's barely even big enough to fit your hand through on its own. But all the windows had bars in front of them, including a bar going in front of the tiny one, making the opening even smaller. During the stay, I got really bad. I was lying on the bed, crying, forming a plan of how I would finally get peace, when I saw a shadow. I looked up only to see on the back of my chair a little songbird looking at me. It just stood there, looked around the room a little, and then looked at me again. I managed to calm down and breathe, and when I felt better, I had to take a picture of it because I was wondering if I had lost my mind. After I took the picture and checked it out, when I looked back up, the bird was gone. I am not a religious or spiritual person, but that encounter felt too specific to be a normal coincidence, although that is probably what it is, thinking about it logically. Still, to this day, whenever I have anxiety or feel depressed, I think about that bird, and it helps me feel calm again. Case notes for file 1460, the songbird that saved my soul. This reminds me a lot of, and spoiler warning for Harry Potter. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it, but yeah, assuming you've seen it, spoiler warning. At the end, after Dumbledore is killed by Snape, I think it's in the book too, but in the movie, the characters go up to the top of the tower and they look up at this beautiful sunrise sky, and in the distance you hear and see the phoenix that Dumbledore owned, or at least kept as a pet, singing. It's the songbird song, the melody of death. But it's kind of beautiful in a way. At any rate, I'm sorry for your loss. But it is beautiful to think that it's not a complete loss, whatever the afterlife is. Who we are, the ripple in the ocean that we are, never fades completely, or at least not immediately after death, and I find that beautiful. Bonus file written by Duad4408. Demon faces the fury of our fearless Rottweiler spirit. My wife and I had a huge Rottweiler we raised from a puppy when we started dating. He was a huge butthole, fiercely protective over both of us, especially my wife, and very picky about who he was friends with. Definitely our fault. He was an under-socialized COVID child, and we didn't have very many friends at our jobs or otherwise. He did love us more than anything on earth, and was the most loyal dog we could have asked for. I used to joke with my wife that if someone dared to break into the house in the middle of the night, they wouldn't have made it past the living room with all their limbs. Our dog died at 2 years old, from random heat exhaustion. Took him for the same 20-minute walk we did every day. He never made it home. My wife and I were shocked and devastated, especially her. We wasted no time getting another puppy with the house being so quiet. Once again, a little German Rottweiler. The two dogs couldn't have been more different. While protective, our current dog is the friendliest little bastard you could ask for. We made an effort to not repeat the same mistakes we did with the first pup, and got him very well socialized and adapted at a very young age. Fast forward to last night. I am a long-time sufferer of sleep paralysis. I've seen every demon possible in my room at some point in my life. The infamous Hat Man. He stands in the corner and smiles, sometimes reaches out and touches my legs on the bed. Having been through this so many times, I've gotten pretty decent at snapping out of it, albeit with some good effort. Last night was a lot different. It started off with him in the corner as usual. I started doing my usual strategies, wiggle my toes, say a prayer, etc. But nothing snaps me out of it. Eventually, the Hat Man gets on all fours and shuffles on top of me from the corner. At this point, I'm completely overcome with terror. I've never seen him this close before. His face is a few feet from mine, his black cartoonish eyes staring into me with his dark toothless grin unwavering. I repeat my strategies, trying to break out to no avail. Suddenly, piercing through the low humming noises, I hear a very deep guttural growl coming from next to me where my wife is sleeping. I use all the effort I can to wiggle my eyes in that direction. Standing over my wife, looking dead at my demon, is the angriest looking Rottweiler I have ever seen. Teeth are bared, hackles up, letting loose a furious snarl. I thought maybe it was my current dog and that I have perhaps managed to snap out of the paralysis until I saw the docked tail. The current dog has a full tail. The old one didn't. The dog launched itself into the demon still on top of me, staring into my soul, which somehow woke me up finally. I immediately teared up and went to the closet where we still kept his favorite stuffed animal, the only one he never destroyed, and just sat there holding it for a while, thanking my mean, nasty, fiercely loyal baby boy for continuing to protect us late into the night in this life and the next. Case notes for the bonus file. Demon faces the fury of our fearless Rottweiler spirit. So I do believe that animals have souls, and if they do, they guard their owners even after life, in their own death, their own hollowed out corner of the afterlife. They don't just vanish away. And we all know that dogs are fierce protectors. And you know this in real life too. Even if the pet hasn't died, they're fiercely protective of their owner's grave if the owner dies, especially dogs. They will sit at the grave of their previous master and just offer it a guarding. Almost like how we guard the veterans' memorials with the actual human guard there. Ours is a bit more calibrated, but hey, the spirit and the intent is what counts. It also makes me wonder, sleep paralysis might actually reveal that the demons we see are only accessible in this dreamlike state, but they really exist. If your spirit dog defended you from it, well, it wasn't just defending you from a figment created by your own imagination, no. It really was there. Maybe they can only be accessed or visible when you're in that dreamlike state. And now to lighten the mood, the joke of the day. A man goes to the circus. After the show, he speaks to the manager and asks for a job. "Alright, what can you do?" the manager asks. "I can do great bird impressions," the man replies. "Psh, a lot of people can do that." "Oh well," the man says and flies away. I guess that's a pretty good bird impression. I would concur with that. Was he like flapping his wings, or did he have like Superman flight where he can just hover? I'd prefer the hovering aspect, like using your body's energy to levitate. Either way, being able to fly would be awesome. I don't think I would join a circus if I had that power. There's probably more productive things you could do with that. Just saying. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.